homeschooled.
That's right. I forgot you
Not
were.
really. It was a homeschool curriculum, but it was in an actual building.
Josh, you were homeschooled, right?
A
Josh
little
Cooper?
bit. School by the streets of Cleveland.
I live in your old neighborhood. I live in Old
Which
Brooklyn.
one? Oh, okay. I was like, which one? We lived a lot of different places.
That's
Oh,
funny.
yeah.
Like, even I was like, well, yeah.
Yeah, man, it's so long ago.
My kids are homeschooled now, but it's through a state accredited thing. It's not us. I wouldn't do that.
No,
to
I
them.
mean, but even if they weren't, like, all during the pandemic, it was all on computers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like everything he does pretty much now is all on a computer. I'm like, there's no point in even sending them to the building, really.
Yeah. I don't have kids, so I didn't have to worry about any of that shit. It was awesome.
Same here.
Lucky. No, I love my kids. It just...
What state you live in now?
I'm in Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee. Yep. I hate it.
Really?
Fucking hate it. Fucking hate it here.
I'm like,
We're trying to sell our house. I'm really passionate about it right now because we're trying to sell our house. We had a showing today, and these assholes came here and said the yard wasn't mowed. And I'm like, it's getting mowed tomorrow. What does that have to do with buying the house?
I don't like the state of your grass.
Yeah.
It's like, really? That's going to stop you from buying a house?
The grass is too long. I need a house with shorter grass.
I wanted the house with the self-mowing grass.
AstroTurf.
AstroTurf? Yeah, hell yeah.
Dude, then you got to go to Austin then to get that. They have that there.
I'm going to say, if I had money...
They have those robots that slowly cut your grass. It takes like all
yeah.
day
Ooh.
just to.
I was looking at one recently. I was considering my mower was all like screwed up, and I was just... It's been a nightmare.
Dude, the
riding
one you
mower?
gave me is great.
Yeah, I know.
It's
I
still
regretted
working.
it.
Sorry.
I regretted it when mine went down. I was like, I have nothing. No, and I was
I lost
looking
you
at it, and
guys.
I was just like, you got to run wire on most of them and lay it in the ground.
What happened? Oh,
I lost visual. I still hear you.
What in the hell? All right.
What happened to it? Mower?
I think my phone just...
It's just one problem after the other.
Really?
It's just... It'll run great for like half a season, and then something traumatic fails, and then I have to figure out what's wrong with it. And
So the starter or whatever on the one you
That's
gave me
better.
it was going out every
like
couple.
the flywheel thing, yeah.
Oh, God.
Those ones are a lot easier than the riding mowers because it's got all the electronic stuff. I had to actually take the switch apart
Oh,
and like
jeez.
we soldered in all of the wires manually and like
Can you see everybody?
too
I
cheap
can't
to
tell.
buy another one.
I think we lost Josh.
Oh no, he's there. He was just not moving. I thought he was like
It's very
far
way
away,
better before.
very far away.
There we go.
Well, you look
Not
great.
bad. It's getting better.
Yeah. Luckily, that's not the video they'll be seeing. It'll just be what you'll see.
Messing with you and moving very slow.
Yeah.
But I need to see you, Jeremy, when we talk about how much of a dick you were. I need to see you. So I need to see your reaction.
Believe me,
need
it's
to
gonna be
zoom in.
It's gonna be in 4K high definition for the real deal. I
Dude,
promise
you're not in 8K
you.
yet? What are you doing then? Come on,
punch.
8K,
Yeah.
baby.
I don't have that pocket AK yet. It's a good day. I have to pull out my AK. Get it? See what I did?
Yes.
Anybody?
I did.
I like
See-
that song. Not really. I know of it. I don't like it.
Man, I wish the other
Why?
thing was working. Oh well, shit happens.
Yeah, I know all too well.
All right. Well, I guess I'm just gonna start it because there's no natural way to get this thing going.
Right.
So let's give everybody some context of why we decided to get together, or how we met. So I met Josh at Tri-C, Josh Watson. Actually, let's go through everybody's name. So remotely is Josh Cooper. Here in the studio, we got Josh Watson and Ryan Moore. I'm Jeremy Demery. We got that part out of the way. All right. So I met Josh at Tri-C.
Yep.
And we had done a couple of classes together. And then at some point you had asked me to jam with you guys.
Yeah, I think somewhere you mentioned like you play guitar, and we started talking and had a lot of things in common. So then I asked, because I think we were just trying to look to add like a fourth member.
Yeah, I was so this well, I don't mean to jump ahead.
No, go ahead.
But this whole thing sparked on the episode we did like a month ago, and we were trying to land on what band we were all in, because we've been in so many band, like the same band but just different names. I couldn't remember which name.
Josh, do you remember the name of the band you guys were in before I joined?
Oh my gosh. Insight 40?
Yep.
Was it
Really?
Insight 40?
I remember that.
That's still my Yahoo email address.
Yeah.
Really? That's really funny.
Yeah.
Oh, mine's worse.
Rules.
Mine's worse. You don't even want to know mine.
My AOL's not much better than yours.
You still have AOL?
Yeah.
We're old.
Nice.
So I met Josh. They asked me to come jam with them. We jam. Things go pretty well. I joined the band, and then we can, I guess, take it from there. How many shows do you think we played?
I know we played with
I don't
Branson.
know. I remember, so when you guys asked me about doing this, I just have I have like 4 or 5 very specific memories. I don't know how many shows we ever did together, but I remember jamming in your garage a lot, Jeremy.
Yeah, I think that's when you guys
where we
moved.
practiced.
Yeah.
Because we did it in yours.
Yep. It
When
was
you guys
Yeah.
lived above the
And I was going to
head shop.
bring.
Yeah.
I was going to bring that drum case with where we spray painted WTB.
I still have
really?
my bass amp with
I
it
was
on.
gonna bring it with me, but I didn't. I had some props I was thinking of, but I was like, you know what? Let's just.
I was gonna see if I could find any old.
I should have brought it. Oh well.
Went
Anyways.
in all natural. That's fine by me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really see. That's so funny because I don't remember even practicing in my parents' garage at all. Zero recollection of that.
for. That's probably a year.
It was a while before we started. We got that practice spot. We were talking about Rock and Roll City Studios in Cleveland, and that's how this whole
Yep.
thing got brought up.
I do.
And then I think we went from your garage straight into that
We just all got sick
studio.
of being cold in the wintertime.
Yeah.
God.
So we found somewhere that had heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do remember practicing in your parents' garage.
Yeah.
No, I thought that was rad because there was like a convenient.
It was a shared garage. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a convenience store right across the street, so it was
Yes.
like awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Also a head shop
Subway.
right in the same
Oh,
parking
yeah.
lot.
Bread.
Ah, yeah. It's a shit.
Pizza shop next door. I mean, you had
Don
everything
G's.
there. Yes. Oh, we still talk about Don G's. It's a great place. You can't find anything like that here. So
Yeah.
too bad.
It's a bummer. So we move into Rock and Roll City Studios. We're playing some shows. And then at some point things start to deteriorate, and that's where everyone else comes in. Because I have so little recollection of
So
how or why.
we were sharing the spot
started to-
with. Go ahead.
It started
Josh.
to deteriorate before we left your garage, because I have a specific memory from your garage of you telling me something which is so perfect. We were trying to get our like
any of this.
MySpace. We were trying to get our MySpace page going, and I was like all about it. I was like, yeah, social media. And you were like, stop worrying about social media. It's never going to work out. It's all going to go away.
Yeah. You were pretty strong
That is
against
so-
social media at the time.
Really? That is
Oh my
so
God, that's
funny.
great.
You were beta max.
Jeremy,
all
that
the
is
way.
my job now, my friend. That is literally my job as social media.
And literally all I do now is like I preach content. I'm like, if you're not making content, it's like a tree that fell in the woods. Like no one was around to hear it. Like it didn't even really happen, which is so funny that like, oh man, what terrible foresight I had at the time.
Here I am. I don't post anything ever now. So I'm like,
Yeah, now I'm trying to be as active as possible with stand up and everything, and obviously this. So, That is so funny. So what did I say?
Well, I was trying to get our songs on MySpace and trying to get our profile page set up. I'm trying to think, was this like do you guys remember if this was before I went and played with the Loud or after?
Oh, this was before, yeah.
It was before, okay. Because I remember then meeting Sean, and he was all about social media and MySpace, and I was like, okay, this guy, he gets it. He totally gets it.
Like, I think that's like when we just kind of like took a break, or I don't know, we just broke up for a hot minute.
Yeah.
And then you guys started playing with the Loud.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was it could have been a great situation, but it was a terrible situation because the thing about a band is you need everyone going the same direction. And like with the Loud, it was Sean, and he just had an ego and thought he could sing and he really couldn't. And that was so funny when he when he kicked me out of the band because I told him he couldn't sing. And he's like, "You're such a," what did he say?
He said, dude, eat my dick. Yeah. That's exactly how he said it.
Dude, that's how he said it. He's like the most, first before that, every interaction, he's like the most Christian dude you'll ever meet, never said a bad word, kindest person. As soon as I told him something he didn't like, he was like, "Eat my dick, bro." I was like, whoa, what the heck? And that was it.
Yeah.
So,
man, I should have used that move.
Go out with a bang, man.
Yeah.
And then I do remember, what was it called? Rock and Roll City or whatever?
Studios, and like right by 71 or something.
They're still there. Yeah, they got another building.
It's still there
too.
Was Jeremy in the band the same time as John too? Do you guys remember John?
I don't remember John.
No, I think it was
John.
No, the bald guy. What was his name?
Oh my God! Wow, yeah. I don't know why I forgot all about him. Wow.
Do you remember when I kicked him out of the band?
Yeah.
No, Jeremy. So at the time when we were renting that place, Jake had a band. They were like a heavy metal band, and we were splitting the room with them because it was a bigger room and it was expensive as hell. So.
Which nowadays it's probably very reasonable. But
right, yeah. But at the time it was like $200. That was a lot of money back then.
You were like 18, 19 when we rented that place.
Yeah, that's why I'm so surprised that we went, because I was like so broke during that time. Like I had no money, and like I don't know how I even justified us going there.
Right. We were living at home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
but still,
I think we were all
trying to take it as seriously as we could, so that felt like taking it more serious, but like actually having a practice spot. Because I think up until then, at least Josh, Ryan, and myself, it's always like in a parent's house somewhere, and there you could barely ever practice, and you couldn't do what you wanted. So we were like, "Hey, let's go here."
Yeah, the 24/7, make as much noise as you want, was definitely appeal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I still finally, remember going there in the middle of the night sometimes. Like, you guys wouldn't even know.
Yep.
And I would just go there and play his drums, by myself.
Now he's all upset.
Nice.
Fuck. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say something.
Did you touch my drum set? Because there's a chip on the left.
Yeah.
That's what I think about when you said that. I was like, oh, that's great.
It's great.
All right, and I remember quitting the band. I don't remember. I don't have any recollection of leaving the band. I just know that I quit. I remember that part.
And it happened there.
I felt like it happened at a show or something. We were at like North.
You don't remember, because I remember this. I don't know why.
I don't know. That part there was it's a little fuzzy.
I remember your car was broke down. He picked you up and took you to practice, and that was the other reason why I was surprised you waited until you got all the way there to say something. I'm just being honest, dude. This is what I remember. I remember, man. I remember crazy things from.
Honest.
I remember the craziest stuff from when I was young. I couldn't tell you what I had for breakfast today. Like I said, dude, it's crazy. I do remember that because I just remember being really confused. But now that Josh mentioned the whole social media, I was like, and I do remember it was a post, and you were like upset about the post, and it was like, yeah, we shouldn't have to say shit. We should just be able to go out there and
oh my god,
the
old school. That's what everyone was kind of doing. Like that was an appeal. Like Taking Back Sunday. All those bands were like just underground, word of mouth.
Yeah,
and it was like this weird appeal to that.
What a weird
Punk.
stance of integrity that was.
It's a time.
Now in hindsight, it's like, wow. Like,
Well, you got
You
another
had a
one
few high
coming up.
horses you like to get up on.
did I? Oh, let's get into it.
That's all I remember.
You're not going to hurt my pride. I know during that time I was very, very immature. I know during that time I had a hard time expressing how I felt in proper ways. So, like, this is what we're here for. Like, I told this about Josh Cooper. I was like, even if it's you calling me an asshole for an hour, I'm fine with that.
Nah. But don't you think we all like have that when we're younger? Like,
Yeah.
why do you feel like you need to come and like, I know for the podcast, but is there something specific that like draws you to like, look at the past and kind of analyze it?
Yes, because of comedy. Comedy
Okay.
has a way of making you look backwards,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like it makes you forget everything that you were and question everything that you are, and it's so a lot of the podcast is trying to remember certain funny things that I did in the past or just funny shit that happened in the past, and I guess immortalizing those moments for better or worse. I mean, let's face it, it happened. I acted the way I acted. I can't change that. So the best I could do is like, all right, now moving forward, I act a little bit more mature. I can learn from those lessons because there's so much I've forgotten. Or I've just chosen to forgotten. I don't know.
It's just life. You can't remember everything all the time.
Right. So it's like it's sometimes it's fun for me to go back and be like, oh, I was dumb.
Like I don't remember driving you there to quit. I don't think you even told me you were going to quit. Like the whole ride there.
Wow.
So I think I was
Was it like immediately?
It was. I don't think a note had been played. Like I said,
remember.
we hadn't even.
I do remember what you said that night. I'm pretty sure that's another memory I have of something you said that night, and I think it was the night you quit. But before we go there, because I feel like that's like the antithesis, especially because of some of the other career choices and things you've gotten into after. The thing you said that night was so ironic now. Like,
Yes.
But were you a vegan or were you a vegetarian?
That time, I think I was vegetarian.
vegetarian. Yeah.
Because there was two things I remember specifically, and one was you were over the apartment I was going to live in when I got married to Rachel. I had the apartment before we were married.
I remember that.
And for some reason, you decided to have a burger or something while we were there, and you spent the rest of the night complaining about how sick you felt. And that's I was like, because you hadn't had meat in so long that you introduced it to your system, and it just almost killed
And
you.
not
I
like
remember
a
that.
fine, steak. It was like
No.
Burger King.
Wow.
It was a Whopper, actually.
I don't remember. That is so fucking funny.
Wow.
That's the worst of the
Was
worst.
I drinking?
Probably.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, we were probably, but we weren't like sloshed or anything. I mean, you were just like, I'm gonna have this burger. I was like, what? Okay. And
Yeah,
I didn't know. I didn't know what it would do
your
to
own
you.
peer pressure.
Yeah, that's
You talk to yourself
Quite
into it in
the
your head. And you're like, all right, I guess I'm going to
Decision to make.
you're gonna eat this burger, you pussy. That's what's going on in my own
And then
head.
you're just like, all right, I think I'm going to have a burger. And
That is.
We're all like, okay, eat the burger. I don't understand what the big deal is.
Oh, that's so funny. So yeah,
And then
I
one
think
other-
during that time I was vegetarian. I don't even. Oh, I don't remember why I turned vegetarian. But that's another.
That was for a
story
girl,
another-
right?
Oh no.
Okay.
Is the piss
I do remember something with a girl, but I can't remember the details.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm like, I don't know if
I'm
it sparks
sure.
anybody else.
Well, maybe it did have something to do with a girl. Probably. And knowing me and how dumb I was at the time, probably. I would say it was probably a girl. I don't remember. I guess I thought it was because I was trying to piss my dad off. But it could be. The girl thing sounds more right to me. So, yeah, because at the
One
time,
more.
who was I dating at the
no.
time?
I don't remember you dating anyone.
It was at the end there, but it wasn't like.
Was that what ended it? Was it a
No, I don't think we
relationship?
even knew who it was.
Is it a Yoko?
The Yoko situation.
Situation.
What happened?
I don't even remember who I was dating. Oh, see, that's why I love this fucking podcast. So I was seeing this girl named Nina, and she was the one who took my V card. So I was all fucked up from that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And all that like religious trauma and trying to like navigate those waters of like losing your virginity while trying to stay pure for Christ or whatever. Man, what a tumultuous time in my fucking brain. Holy
right to say, man,
you guys,
you
guys
wanted
are
the devil's
fucking
meat
saints.
from Burger King.
Yeah, you guys are saints in my book. Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh. I just can't wait to talk to Jesus and be like, did you really care about my V card? Like, what was up with that? Did you know? Did you like keep track? Were you like, I can't wait.
I would love
waste a lot of questions in heaven.
I mean, not that I believe in the guy, but if I were to meet him and were you pissed about that? I would want him to say like, do you really think you were that important during that time? Like, you realize planes flew into a building in America, right? Like, we were busy with some other shit going on.
Was that pre or post 9/11? I don't even remember.
Post. It was post.
Yeah.
Post. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's
all right, one more quick story.
Yes.
Just very random, but we all watched Saw 1 together in that apartment as well. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember.
And then,
well, I don't remember the movie we were watching. I do remember like we were all hanging out and I was drinking some sort of girly drink, and that got me sick.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, we all were.
What was the girly drink? Do you remember the girly drink?
it was something red, but I don't remember what it was. And it was like a bottled, one of those really crappy bottled like margaritas, but it was like red or something.
Zima.
Something along those lines, like it was like a cranberry juice bottled something or other with like some sort of booze in it.
I'm starting to be able to smell that apartment right now. Like these memories are just like flooding back to my head. But we watched Saw. It was like super late at night. Super late. We had a show the next day or something in that church in the woods. Do you remember that in Berea? It's like a church in the woods, and we went and took the equipment in the middle of the night and all nearly crapped ourselves because we just watched Saw, and then we're like in the middle of Berea in the woods taking this equipment to this church in the middle of the night.
Was it my parents' church, I wonder? Was it
or church behind the falls, or I'm trying to think of the name of it. But I remember that specifically because we were all scared to death.
Was it down like a long, windy road?
Yep.
Yeah, that was my parents' church. It was called Worldview.
Ah, yes. We were practiced there for a while.
Did we?
We did in the church. We were practicing.
Yeah, my parents were deacons at that church, and I had like free reign of that building. It was crazy.
Yeah, I do remember practicing in there. It was weird.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I had like keys to the building. I had my own code and everything. Wow. I wonder why we stopped.
That makes a lot of sense.
I don't remember practicing.
I feel like we went from your garage to that place in Cleveland. We were looking for a place in between, probably.
That timeline lines up for sure.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, I remember you and I having some sort of like tiff or disagreement at a show in North Olmsted. It was like the North Olmsted rec room or whatever, and I remember being upset about something, and I don't remember exactly what I was mad about. It seemed like when him and I were when Ryan and I were talking about, I was like I'm pretty. He was like, oh yeah, like a lot of like crazy shit happened during that time, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that I was the problem during that situation. So like I was mad about something, and I'm sure it was petty and stupid. I can't remember. I wish I could remember. I just remember being upset about something that you did or you said or who knows.
Oh, I'm sure there was a lot of shit I said back then that I'm sure I was a dick about as well.
Not that it wasn't warranted.
So.
That's a different podcast.
Yeah, not that it wasn't warranted. Yeah, that's so funny that I'm like, fuck social media. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's everything.
Yeah.
Who knew though? Who knew? I mean.
But you did.
No, I mean, I never thought I would be doing that, but it's funny that that's the first thing I thought of when you guys mentioned this to me. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to talk about that. He said social media would never make it.
I didn't even remember that until you brought it up. Now it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's so funny.
I even remember like I had a Ford van at the time. Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I can
And
still
that
see it.
day that he said that, I had just got the Coheed record, the one with the red and black cover. That was that same day. That's all I remember, though.
Wow.
And that was a killer album.
Don't remember a lot about
I
the day
picked
before
up,
or the day after.
POD's Satellite morning before 9/11. I remember going to Target.
Oh,
I
see.
remember having them open the box because they hadn't stocked the shelves yet.
Yeah, it wasn't out
Give
yet.
me the copy of that because they were supposed to have it out.
Yep.
Got to
So
work.
you're the
got
one
to work
to blame.
right after that happened. I'm like, I will forever remember that morning and what happened. And that album's always in there.
See, all this time we were blaming Arabs. As it turns out, it was Josh over here the whole time.
The one guy that got the early copy the morning of release.
That was a bad day for POD. We're like,
It
oh
was.
my God, we can't do this. Put it back. Let's release it another. Let's 6 months. 6 months, guys. Let's just do it 6 months from now.
They got a new album out. It's pretty great. Not to go
Coheed?
in on POD
Oh,
or anything.
POD does?
Oh yeah, it's great. I don't care anything they play. I'll love it.
I haven't listened
Ryan,
to it, but
Ryan, I tried because you posted something about it. I was like, all right, I trust Ryan.
Try it
And then I was
again.
like,
Try it again.
I can't listen to this. I was like, no, this.
you don't listen to
It's
anything.
heavy.
I mean,
Like-
I listened to a lot of music from back then as well, but you were like really stuck in like that era.
I saw them at Rover Fest a few years ago. They're so good. They're just so good. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I love POD.
You love is love, my
POD.
friend.
Dude, POD, don't get me wrong. They had some really good songs, but it's hard now to listen to new stuff. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, you
It's-
kind of
it's
go with
weird.
what you grew up listening. I still was on my way here. I was listening to like Save Ferris. I'm not even
It's
kidding.
a good album.
It was.
It's a good album.
It's good.
I can't remember
The
the
one
last time.
album.
They
had
had
one or
two. They had two. The first
No
one was
one heard
great.
the
The
second
second one
one.
was like,
Yeah.
and then they disappeared.
POD.
Yep.
No, Safe Ferris.
Save Ferris.
I don't remember. I
That's ska, dude. That's
I don't remember them at all.
now we're really showing our age.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I liked them
Scott
because they had a
Meany in
girl in the
98.
band. That was amazing.
Oh yeah,
That was awesome.
I was
That nice to
young.
look
I
at.
didn't go to that. You guys went to that. I was gonna wear a shirt. I didn't. I should have brought it, man. Damn it. I have this shirt from when we had our first band, Supernatural Conspiracy. I still so my parents moved a couple years ago. They sold their house, and I found all this shit. Like it's just been buried alive, and it's got my name and my occupation, drums, and it has our heart logo.
What you needed to know.
God, I
You
should have
did.
wore that. Damn it, I should have wore it. Someone told me not to.
14,
It's
dude,
fun-
what do you do?
Of all the things that I remember, I do remember being at Josh Cooper's parents' house, and we were like doing a bunch of different like graphic design for logos. Is that when we came up with the band name?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
Yep.
We probably came up with some cool looking concept. We're like, we need a name to go with this.
Yeah.
I have
All
the
I can
T-shirt.
think of to.
I
all
still
can
have
think
that
of
T-shirt.
The heart with the bleeding heart. Is that the one?
That's the one that Ryan's talking about. That's the one that.
I have that my mom made.
Yeah, no,
No, that's a heart. His is a heart on fire.
Dean made him.
Dean T made that logo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I thought John.
No, bro, Josh.
No,
we
we
made
did.
That.
We made that, but
Yeah,
he
we
made
made
the
that on
shirt.
paint.
Oh,
He made the
On
shirts.
paint,
That was like
Microsoft
old
Paint.
school, like Gen 1,
Press
Iron
on.
Inkjet.
But it's still,
wash twice.
man,
it
mine
comes
still
off.
looks good.
Really?
Has
Mine's
the old Hanes logo on it and everything.
I still have most of our shirts.
Wow. That's one.
Dang it! I wish I could. I wish I could see those. I wish I could also hear all of the stuff throughout the years.
Right.
Oh, I
Like-
got majority of it still. I've got it
I
all
would
backed
love
up
to
on a
hear
hard
it.
drive.
I'd love to show it to my kids too. They would be like,
Oh.
"I don't really care, but that's nice."
Yeah. I think
Yeah, because you sent me a
Connor
link.
thinks it's lame.
You sent me a link to the album that we did.
Yeah, there's some on I think I have some on like a Dropbox somewhere, but I have like a hard drive that's still got majority of it. The only thing I don't have is the album that we recorded at Gibbs.
Is it Gib or Gabe? I thought it was Gabe.
That was Gabe.
I thought his name is Gib.
Maybe you're right.
Oh
Gabe
yeah,
sounds...
you hooked us up with him, didn't you?
Yeah,
Jerry?
Yeah,
recorded in his basement.
I thought we finished that.
I know, but I don't. We never made. I don't think we ever made copies. It was kind of like handing them out. We never like.
Yeah, I don't have any copies
I
of
don't
that
think we
one.
were at the time. I don't think we were happy with it because we didn't have 100% creative control.
Yeah.
Like everything else that we recorded.
that's true.
So we were like. But like hearing it later on, I do remember I was like, oh, the audio production. I think I have like one song somewhere I found. But I know we did like a whole album, but I don't know if any of you guys got it anywhere.
Man,
But
we have so many
like you
recordings.
might if anybody's got it.
I know
You
my
were still living with your parents at the time.
my parents. I know my dad has that old reel. He has to have that reel.
Oh God!
Those songs from the first.
We should actually go because we could pull it back up.
Oh, probably.
Redo it all.
It's. I guarantee
Pro
it's.
Tools with the original tracks.
I guarantee he has it. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
One of my bands. I was in a band called in 2008 called. What we call it? Why am I drawing a blank? The Taller We Grow. And recently, I found like all of our demos, and like I saw our bass player on Facebook had posted he was looking for them. And I was like, dude, I have all of them.
Wow.
And I posted them, and then he posted them on YouTube. And then now we're actually talking about maybe writing a song and putting it out there.
I have
Random. I don't know.
I don't know if you guys remember, but when we were recording in your garage, I was recording all of our practices at one point on a mini disc player.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yes, I still have them because I got like WTB written on the mini discs.
Really?
I still have the player and it works.
Wow.
I think that one disc held like 8 hours of music or something like that at the time, which was like before MP3s. Like we could record
crap.
8 hours on it.
Yeah, that's a lot of information.
There's a lot of, but
at the time.
the songs are, and there's ideas of songs, but the funniest thing is the banter and in between stuff.
God, yes.
Yeah.
And just like, I'm like, you were recording all this, guys. Like,
I had no idea. I mean, I probably knew.
we
Who knows?
just didn't care because we're like, we just wanted that clip. We're like, we're not worried about that, like, dead
Yeah.
space.
Yeah. That's funny.
Jeremy, what was the name of the band that you were in? This was way later,
Yeah.
and it had a dinosaur in the name.
All Dinosaurs, yeah. That was the band I
Okay.
was in. I guess the most recent band I was in.
You got signed
Okay.
off of that. I mean, you guys were.
Yeah, we were on Anti-Flag's record label for a little while, which was both a blessing and a curse. But yeah, those guys and I still talk all the time. But like, we kind of just like we got older. It's hard to justify going on tours and like sleeping in shitty motels when you got wife and kids at the home, and you're just scraping by with bills. Like that's really all you're maintaining. Like during that time, like even on the road, like we were broke constantly. I remember one time we used to play this game called The Game, and as long as you said the game before you did anything, you had to chalk it up to the game. And I spent my last $5 on this like Taco Bell burrito roll, and so our drummer yelled out the game and then knocked it out of my hands. I started crying. I was so sad.
just broken.
Yeah, just like, oh man, that was the last $5 I've got until we get to like, I think we got paid like 2 shows after that. But like, yeah, it was brutal. But
So think about all of what you just said. We'll go back to when you quit and what I remember you telling me.
yeah,
So all of what you just said, this is what you said to me. You said, it's time for me to leave and start making some big boy money.
wow.
That's what you said to me. And so I remember.
Wow, I don't remember that.
What an
specifically-
arrogant little fuck I was. That's so fucking funny. I'm gonna leave and make big boy money. What the fuck does that even mean?
Well, now it makes a little bit more sense. If your car was broke down, I don't know if maybe like before you came to practice, you had a conversation with your dad or something, and he maybe said you need to grow up, and you internalize that as big boy money. I don't know, but I thought it was funny.
You're like, I go to practice, Dad. And he's like, you don't even get paid to do that. And then he's like, you know what? That's right. I got
Yeah.
some big boy money.
I was all about pissing my parents off
22 or whatever you were.
Yeah, I mean that sounds about right.
And your children.
I know. You're like, big boy money. I mean, you go make $11 an hour somewhere.
No. I think at the time minimum wage was like $8.15.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like you made $9. You're like, all right.
Oh
all right.
hell yeah. Yeah.
$10. I'm buying a house.
But it was funny because years later, then I saw on social media that you're in this All Dinosaurs band, and I'm like, he's not making any money in this band, and here I am. I got a 9 to 5 making a salary. I'm like, what the hell, man?
Yeah,
Like,
what happened to
broke all of us down. We're like, oh, you know what? We do need to make big boy money. And you're like, actually, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm gonna zag this time.
Yeah.
God, I don't. I was so full of shit. Like, there was no way I was gonna like. I don't know. Knowing who I was as a person, I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about because like, I would have sacrificed everything just to do like art for a living, and I did for a while there. But like the fact that I had like the gall to be like, I need to get out of this and make big boy money is so fucking hilarious. But the
And
band,
here I am making big boy money, looking at him like, go get it.
well, the band that I was like, the band I should really focus on was a band that quite literally nobody remembers, which is the Bright Red Fight, which was an instrumental band that like
I loved them. I loved it. I'm the one fan.
We had one fan.
Well, they were you guys had like painting as a person like painting on stage.
Yeah,
it was very
We used to
artsy.
talk about you guys a lot.
Sometimes she would do marionettes. That was fun. That was a good time.
I remember that name, but I don't ever remember hearing any of the music or
We
anything.
were very like pretentious art school.
Yeah, you were
band.
like super into like Unwed Sailor at the time.
Oh yeah. I'm still into it. I love that band. It's so funny. I said I need to leave and make big boy money. Did I like immediately pop into a suit after that? Like,
I'm trying to
I don't remember. A lot of what I remember about you was your haircut too. Do you remember that hair?
that swoopy haircut?
Well, yeah, but yours kind of went under a little bit. Like you had like almost like the bowl cut thing.
Yeah,
It kinda went
like
under.
the reverse cowlick.
Yeah, I do remember that. It was terrible.
Ah man, how almost
I mean,
and then
at
I
the
just
time,
grew it
like-
out, and then like it kind of like waved there, and just kind of like
Yeah.
kept going straight after that. It's like my Arab side and my Native American side were really battling it out of who really like between like curls and straight hair. It was like didn't want to make up its mind.
oh god, that's great.
That's funny. Oh my gosh.
It's so funny though. I need to make big boy money. In the end, I think I went and worked for my uncle for a little while doing real
Oh,
estate.
that's right.
And-
that is what happened.
And I was drinking so heavily during that time.
It probably went back to your dad being like, you got to take this job.
Yeah, and I took it, and then I started drinking like a fucking fiend, and I would like sleep through like my open houses and shit, and then blame it on our secretary.
Oh, God. I had that happen once. Like, we had an open house, and like, we're watching the Ring camera, and like, nobody's coming. We're like, there's no one here. We call the realtor because it was like a realtor's associate or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. I'm like,
Oh, we must have mixed up the dates.
yeah, and then here's probably you,
Yeah.
drunk, not showing up to my house.
I was wasted. No, I stopped. It's so weird to say.
Practicing.
I stopped practicing real estate during that time. Is that even how you're supposed to say it?
Selling real estate.
Selling? Yeah, that sounds more right.
Sales job.
Look, I'm already starting to sound more. I'm trying to make myself sound more important. Yeah, I was making big boy money then. When you're making
Well, hey,
big
it
boy
makes
money, you can
sense.
say
You went-
practicing. What's that?
You went right to selling real estate. I mean that makes sense. That sounds like big boy money. I don't know. Like
it
right from the
wasn't.
band.
It wasn't.
No.
I don't
Yeah.
remember where you were working before that, though, or if you were.
I was working. Where the fuck was I working during that?
I'm like,
I just remember
living off
my,
student loans.
probably. Yeah, because I was. That first, during that time, I was student loans and then trying to do real estate. And then once I got my real estate license, like I did it for like 7 months, something like that, and was just miserable. My uncle's like, you got to stop doing this. Like, do it anything else other than this. And then I stopped, and then I started working at this coffee shop and met a bunch of people there. Yeah, what a fucking weird time of my life. Yeah, and I was still like dealing with that whole like religious trauma of like trying to figure out where I stood morally on things and like what my relationship with Christ was like, and then what my core beliefs were. Like there's a lot of like inner turmoil, especially when you're a Christian kid and you grew up in a Christian church, all your friends are Christians. Like, you know, in a sense, you kind of get exiled, or you feel like you're getting exiled in a way. And it's not their fault either, because I'm the one who changed, right? They stayed the same. They were doing their thing, but I'm the one who decided to change and do things differently. So you can't necessarily blame them for not necessarily like accepting it as much as they could have. I don't know, but like, yeah, it was a strange time. And then I went and worked for my uncle. Left that, and then I owned a bar for a little while. That was the dumbest.
Dang, a bar?
Yeah, it was called the Davenport. It was in Parma. It was right below where the Arabica was on like Pearl in New York.
Okay.
Okay.
Or like Marco's. Yep. And now it's like a dance.com.
Wow, they brought that back.
Still exists.
Yeah, there's one in existence.
Disco's coming back. The kids love it.
They didn't have the gall to change the sign. They just put dance.com over the couch that we had for the sign.
Yeah. No, you know what? You were working. I remember now because you were working at that Arabica.
Yeah, he was.
He was probably doing both then.
Yep.
Jesus. Dad's making big boy money. It's so stupid.
Big boy money.
So great.
That was really funny.
I have one memory. So I don't know if we were maybe doing like a little mini tour or something, or we were maybe playing out of town, maybe Columbus or whatever. But I remember we were like traveling and we were listening to Dane Cook's Perfect Circle. And there's this part where Dane Cook's talking about, you know, girls masturbating. It looks like they're a DJ.
Oh, down.
And you got upset.
Yeah.
And you got upset about that.
Did I?
And that was another.
Mo.
I just gotta say,
I use that all the time now.
how ironic.
My wife, I say it constantly.
Yeah, I do remember you were like, I don't want to hear about Dane Cook and women pussies with a DJ.
Oh my God.
I just had to say that.
Oh no, I'm glad. I mean, that's,
Again, ironic.
yeah, so
That's
funny.
awesome. That's
Because
so
like
funny.
you could tell that I was definitely like going through like a bunch of like just trying to figure myself out. Or like,
Yeah.
oh, like I don't know. It's so silly that would like the things I used to get upset about, and now I'm like, you know, I say heinous shit constantly and lie for a living.
Yeah, you had to shake the homeschool era at college.
Yeah, and man, that was such a culture shock going from going from homeschooled to like, because in my sophomore year of high school is when I started at Tri-C. And so going from being alone in your room to now being in a room full of what you perceive as adults and full-blown women is a very and as a Christian kid, very, very intimidating. I was so shy the first couple of years of being at Tri-C, and then eventually I think once I started meeting you guys is where I'm breaking out of my shell, but in the worst way possible.
Sorry.
No,
Somehow we were the bad influence.
no. If there's anybody to blame for any of this, is I'm the blame for this. And that's what I'm trying to get across here is you know, I was just so immature during that time. And some of that's come up through therapy or this podcast or just, simply telling my wife about my past and all the dumb shit I used to do or used to think.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Or some moral high ground that I had. Or I was
I think
I was a very holier than thou piece of shit person there in that time.
But I think we all had that at some point. We just were further down that path than you were at the time. So that's why we're like,
yeah,
hey, let's go post this on MySpace and do some smack. It was just
yeah, it sounded like you guys wanted to make a MySpace post and then just shoot heroin. That's that's how I responded to it at the very.
Wait, we didn't
got
do
it
that?
down there at the time. I don't know if it's any better nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, the Peabody's is closed, so that's one less place to get heroin.
Hey, I think with growing up as a Christian, that always adds an extra layer. I haven't went down the same stuff that you have, obviously, because you've ended at a different place than I have. I still believe that Jesus is real, and I'm still a Christian. But like, Christians still always rub me the wrong way. And when you were talking about your friends that were Christians, they weren't as forgiving, of some of the things you were going through. That's really shitty. You know what I mean? They should have been the ones who were the most forgiving and the most by your side during that whole time. And that just really sucks.
I don't know. I really don't perceive it as it being shitty. Cause like, they were also going through similar things. Like, especially my friend TJ at the time, like, him and I are very similar. We're both like very sheltered, homeschooled kids, and trying to figure ourselves out and having like weird moral high grounds. And he didn't necessarily take it the greatest, but I don't blame him for that because, he was trying to maintain his beliefs where I was trying to shape mine differently. And so if he's like, going down one path and I decide to take a right, I can't be mad that he continues going forward, So.
Oh, then I heard it a lot differently than how you said it before. So you still got a lot of work to do, Jeremy.
It's good to know.
Big boy money.
Yeah, and hopefully one day I'll make that big boy money. That never happened.
Dude, that's the depressing thing that I was kind of working on today because, I get paid a lot differently now for what we do. It's like, so there's like once a month, there's just this big windfall, and then it just all goes away, really quickly. And I'm like, when am I going to make enough? And like everything's covered. Don't get me wrong. I feel like I have way more means than we did when I was a kid. Don't get me wrong at all. But to have enough, I'm not a stockbroker. I'm not that guy. I'm not making that big boy money. And I'm like, I'm making really good money, more money than I've ever made. But it just always feels like you need to make more. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy.
More money, more problems.
That's why it was also weird for me when the next job you went to was comedian. I was like, damn, this is not fair. What the heck? You went from punk band to comedian? What the heck?
Yeah, it's like I refused to actually get a real. Well, I still work I work a day job. I would sell beer for a living, and it's decent loot, but it's definitely not big boy money.
Dude, that's definitely making it into your set now.
Oh yeah,
that's the name of this episode. Is big?
Oh, it's gotta be. It's gotta
big boy money, big mo problems, something like that. Thank you guys for being honest about it, because like, you're not gonna hurt my feelings at this point. Like, it's just, it's funny thinking back of all the things that I used to be like pout about and get angry. And now that you're older, like a lot of those things tend to like not seem such a big deal, or even like when those similar things happen to you now as an adult, you're like, whatever, it'll get fucking figured out. Who gives a shit? Like,
yeah. No, I mean,
move forward.
I remember definitely like times where we would be driving together after practice or something. I mean, like trying to talk you down from like, okay, I understand you feel that way. However, and you would just dig in deeper and be like, no. Like you were like super stubborn on things. And it was always just certain things. And it was always odd. Like, it was like, it wasn't like, like you would swear, no problem. But then you'd be like, I don't want to hear about this one sexual thing in a comedy. And you're like, this is fun. The mountain we're going to choose to die on here.
It felt like a lot of times you were the most mature person in the room, but you didn't know how to express yourself. So it just came off sounding like you were a douche, or you just mean, or you, like Josh said, you just really throw us with the DJ Diddles thing. You're like, we don't want to talk about her, touching her, what? Come on, but we can say whatever we want, just not that thing. It's just weird. I don't know.
Yeah, say whatever you want. It's fine. Everything's on the table except for that one little thing.
I think we hung out the most at the time, so they'd both be like looking at me like,
yeah,
what's up with your dude here? I'm like,
I wonder why I was so like angsty. It was because of the religion. I was struggling because, I felt like I had to live up to this certain standard and play by this rule book that I didn't really understand. And, as things kept going along within that religion, I was failing all of those, what I thought were standards. And then finally, I'm just like, fuck it. Like, I'm done. Like, I don't disrespect anybody's beliefs. You believe what you want to believe, and that's awesome. But it's very comforting for me to not believe anymore, because there's no God. If there's no God, there's no hell, there's no heaven. Like, once this is done, it's done, and I don't have to think about it anymore. Like, and that's very comforting to me. And then having
that does sound a lot easier. That sounds a lot easier. You know what I'm saying? That just sounds easier. Like, you're not wrong. I mean,
yeah. Once it's done, it's done. There is no like carrying on anything. That sounds exhausting to me. Like, this.
So what's the point of here then? What's the point of like here and now then?
Who cares? I have no idea.
Good answer.
Yeah, that was my deflecting. Like, I have no idea.
Okay, fair.
I have no idea what this was.
Jeremy,
about.
what did you grow up like? What was your background? I don't even know.
Non-denominational Christian. We were like a Southern Baptist charismatic church.
Yeah, that's the places that pick and choose what they want, and they go together, and they were just going to package it as non-denominational.
Well, they were like a weird like a hippie style. Like, all these people were like ex-hippies who found Jesus.
Yeah, I do
and
remember
like
you
shed
explaining
drugs.
The Jesus Revolution.
Yeah, it was like that's what they were. So we did a lot of like
High on the Lord.
There's a lot of painters. There was a lot of like expressionist dancers. There's a lot of musicians. We put on plays. So we focused deeply into the arts, which now
Makes sense.
That's everything. Every
now
church
it's
does
like,
it.
yeah, it's funny how much of those skill sets I still use today. So I'm thankful for the way I grew up, but it definitely caused a lot of internal turmoil, because I just like to live up to this like what I felt like was a constantly moving standard was tough to keep up with.
Yeah, and you never wanted to talk about it.
And
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
I thought you were kidding.
no. But there are times where you would even trying to, we were both at close but still different places in life. Mm-hmm. But you would still I'd be like, on the rides home trying to figure out, okay, let's talk about what happened, and you're like, you would dig in, but then we I could tell that you were struggling with something, but you just didn't want to share, and I'm like, okay, well, whatever, like.
Yeah, it's so funny that it's like I just wanted to be angry for the sake of being angry. It seemed like.
And then there were times where you would just I think it just got to the point where it would build up, and then you would just explode about something, either mad or sad. I do remember that. I do remember. I mean, breakups were hard, especially in your early 20s.
Well, also
I remember this. I can't remember who it was.
The very first girlfriend I ever had, serious girlfriend, was this girl named Nina, and she was also religious. And when I lost my V card to her, I don't know why I keep saying it like that. I lost my virginity.
Yeah.
She also had like a very religious trauma response to it, of like, we sinned, God's gonna smite us type thing. And that really fucked with my head, because I'm feeling awful, like I had just done something really, really horrible. So
You've ruined your life. You've ruined her life.
right, we're gonna have babies that we're not
You're gonna be stuck with her in hell.
Yeah.
Good or bad.
We're gonna have hell babies, but I wore rubber, so I was like,
They were all done.
condom.
so I had to give a priest some doves or something. I forget how that first goes. But
that got weird.
That's part of the
funny.
non-denominational.
And then
It's like the Old Testament. You got to sacrifice 3 goats.
All right.
no two different fabrics should ever go together. Still feel that way. I'm just kidding.
Dude,
Very specific on my fabrics.
It's being on the spectrum, Jeremy.
I'm very with you as far as I remember when I almost left the church. I remember specifically because the church that we grew up in, Josh, and wow, wow, just, it was all legalism, just like you're talking about, and you have to earn your way and everything like that. And I remember, the only reason that I stayed with it is because started going to church with my wife, and it was Reformed theology, and it was like, Jesus took care of it, you don't have to. And that was freeing for me. And I was like, oh, cool. So if I lost my V card before I should have, like, when is that, then it would have been okay because Jesus took care of it, right?
You married the girl that you lost your virginity to, right?
Technically, yeah, I guess. I
Can you
mean,
answer that?
A long pause there.
so I will say I did everything with a girl you could except for sex until I got married. And I would tell anyone to do that. Like, I don't understand why you would have sex before you're married. That just, even from a non-religious standpoint, is just dumb as hell. Like, I mean, it's just so stupid. It's like, now that I'm an adult, I'm like, oh my God, all this could have happened. Holy shit. And it's not even anything to do with like being afraid, because I'm sure that had part to do with it, of me being afraid of going to hell. Let's not lie here. I'm sure that was part of it. Like what's in Clerks when he says the little like troll's going to come out of her pants or whatever. Like, I'm sure I was afraid of that a little bit, but, I don't, it was definitely her though. Yeah. And I would tell anyone that. Why would you have sex before that? Just other than, oh man, it feels great. Cool. Okay, cool. Just go jerk off then. Like what? Like,
Right.
like it's right here, man. You can do it. It'll be fine. And then, just because of all the things that go with it, there's just so much.
Sure.
It's not even a religious thing anymore. In my mind, it's more of there's baggage, there could be pregnancy that like connects you guys forever, all that kind of stuff. So
especially if you're living in Memphis.
yeah, man, you don't want to do anyone here. If you move here, bring the person you're doing with you.
Okay. Actually, the last time I was in Memphis, I was with my, she was my girlfriend at the time, and she's now my wife. But like, we had like a run in with some hillbillies, and it got ugly quickly, and we was like, we need the fuck out of here. I think I abandoned her for a good 20 minutes.
Wow.
Like
There's pockets of Memphis. There's pockets of Memphis that you just don't want to go in anytime.
We found those.
It's
pockets.
worse than Cleveland. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's worse than East Cleveland.
West Memphis and East Cleveland should get together and have some soup or something. See what goes down. Bad stuff around here, man.
West Side Story, it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that like when you're growing up, like this just the silliest shit that you would do, and like you'd somehow justified it at the time, and then when you got older, you're just like, man, that was dumb.
Yeah.
So funny. I just wish I would wasn't so angry, but I was angry because of like, I was feeling that pressure of trying to be something I wasn't, and on both sides.
Oh yeah.
Like I wasn't truly non-Christian, but I wasn't also truly Christian.
You were right on the fence.
Yeah, and I'm like trying to live between both worlds, and it just causes so much frustration and confusion, and then like you're constantly like bending this like moral compass of like what you think is the way you should be living. It's like once you let that go, is it freeing. So, and then now next thing you know, you're in a dimly lit room in front of a bunch of strangers, saying that you have a small dick or something. Talking about how you got your small penis or whatever. That's that's not really my material, but it's not.
Come on, man. Come on, Jeremy. You're a grower. You're just not a shower.
Yeah, it's
just grows in.
I bought this big penis with my big boy money.
Big boy penis.
Nice.
Big boy penis
Oh my
money.
God, it's great.
Actually, that's the name of this episode. Big boy penis money.
I love it.
Oh,
sounds great.
I don't. We get it. We get it all.
I'm trying to think. I'm like scanning my brain of everything. Like,
I mean,
know
do you have
there's
any good
something else.
memories from it, Jeremy? Do you have any good memories from
I do.
like,
I
anything?
remember thinking, we did a Crock Shop show that I was like, I remember being
Yes.
very proud of.
Went for Branson.
That was the Branson one. That was
Branson. And I remember us sticking like the sticker up on the door, being pumped about that. We
Yeah.
like stuck stickers up everywhere or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yep.
And,
I still do that now with Uploads of Fun everywhere I go.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I mean, I had some good times. The fact that like it could have been more fun had I just let things go or just handled things a little better is definitely funny to me now. That like, you know, it's a good learning lessons now that I'm an adult. Like, you know, like there's no reason to take things that seriously. Though it's hard pressed to find me taking anything seriously these days. It's just so funny that the 180 that you kind of, you know, as you get older, the 180s that you do, it's kind of it's strange at times. You're like, man, that person, if that person now could meet that person then,
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't have listened to me. I wouldn't have listened to me, but at least I would have been a little bit of like a nugget of truth in there, you know, to contemplate.
But you were really good on guitar, so we stuck with you.
That's very sweet. I wasn't that talented. I wasn't. The juice wasn't worth the squeeze.
Dude, I think
He was.
Yeah.
I think we let you in the band. Wasn't it because of the pedals he had? Weren't we like, whoa,
Yeah,
he's
I
got
think it
cool
probably-
pedals.
pedal board.
That sounds yeah.
He's got a pro rig. Let's let him in.
Right.
You got a half stack and a pedal board.
That's all I was at the time. I was on pedal board.
For what it's worth, we've had far more judgmental Christian people in our band that I'll leave unnamed. But
I think it's somebody else that did
We've had- yeah,
bigger
we've had-
180.
Let's get him on the podcast.
yeah, I don't think that's
I
possible.
think they're out of jail still.
Oh shit.
Oh, I think I know who you guys are talking
Right,
about.
right. Yeah, I hope.
Okay.
I think they still got.
Let's not talk about that anymore. Let's not do it. Don't
Yeah,
do
we
it.
might
Not going there.
we might get contacted by lawyers.
One other
No,
thing.
I think-
So the last episode we did when Tim and I were on here a couple last month or whatever, the conclusion one conclusion I came with this was I had said maybe like were you just not into that genre because we were like screamo, and I was like, were you just
Were
not
we?
into that genre of music and you're just kind of thinking of any excuse to get out of it? And you're like, yeah, it might have been something I was doing.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
Because it was such a weird, like such a fantastical, like just thing to be upset about. And I'm like, maybe he's just trying to get out of this band. Like maybe this genre isn't his bag. I don't know. Maybe that was how I processed it.
Probably. I mean, just looking back now and seeing what I said to Josh about social media and like trying to keep it under wraps was like it maybe, and also too is going through that like weird like art, like pretentious artsy phase.
Yeah, you did have some of that.
Yeah, it was like it was super douchey and like like I could see that being the case of being like, oh, I don't really want to do this anymore. I came to the conclusion at some point this was dumb. And
Sweater vests then.
dude, I'm sure whatever artsy douchebaggy thing you could try and pull off, I'm sure I tried it.
Cool thing though. I mean, you were cool.
No, I wasn't.
I thought you were cool.
Oh shucks, it's nice of you to say, but I was definitely
I was
not cool.
uncool in college, so that's why
That's the best part about
we
being-
attracted each other.
Yeah.
Like,
We were uncool in the same ways.
yeah. Yes. He doesn't like to talk to people. I don't like to talk to people. We're best friends now.
So funny.
But yeah, that was an
Dude, I
interesting
always-
group.
I always took it like when I was thinking about this. I thought about this a lot since you guys contacted me because we're thinking about stuff to talk about. But I always took it when I was thinking back. I always took it on my own back. I thought I ruined all the bands I was in because I don't think you ruined Watching Tomorrow Burn. You just left. But I think I, as a young adult, as the church likes to call it, I had really unreal expectations about being in a band because I wanted to practice every day. I wanted to play a show as much as we could. I wanted to record all the time. And I think it was when I was working at Alternative Press, I learned that most of these bands that made it they had rich parents.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the thing. Even some of like Title Fight, a band like that, which are like, you know, I don't even like Title Fight, but that type of music, like grungy underground type stuff, they're coming from families with all rich kid parents, and they can do whatever they want, get all the equipment they want. And that just wasn't any of us. I just always had unreal expectations. And as I'm doing what I'm doing now, I've just tried to think about that a lot, not to like put that on my kids, because I have to work with my kids, and that's tough in itself. So try not to be like a dick dad and a dick boss. I choose just to be a dick dad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah, that's
still getting that big penis
it's the
money,
better one
but,
to go.
you know, you got to choose.
Penis money. Yeah, it's tough. Like I remember when I was in All Dinosaurs, we were playing South by Southwest, and our little write up was like 1 inch by 1 inch, and it just said like All Dinosaurs, band from Cleveland, and then the name of the album we were going to be playing, and then that was it. And then you go into the centerfold, and it's Cloud Nothing, a band who is like friends of ours and like from the same city as us, and they got a full page spread, and apparently one of their dads paid for it. And it's like, it's nothing. They were a good band, don't get me wrong, but
That's what's good about social media. It kind of levels the playing field some.
And that's what's good about white privilege.
yeah,
Jeremy,
trying to
I
keep
think
the
we
red
should
man
use-
down.
I think we should use social media, Jeremy, to promote this podcast. What do you think?
No, we have to send out letters.
Yeah,
The forever stamps.
everyone's getting an email.
They stay good forever.
But man, isn't that how the music industry works though? Like even pop music, that music
yeah.
gets paid to be put where it is. So and then if people like it, it stays there. If not, then something else gets put in its place.
Right.
So now it's Taylor Swift. I've never heard a song. I
Oh, God.
don't really know what she sounds like.
Been a while.
Does it sound like football?
It's like social media. I don't think it's going to take off.
She's done soon. She's done. She's got to make that big penis money.
Yeah. That's when you get to $1 trillion.
It just gets more intense.
Travis Kelce, or as I like to call him, Taylor Swift source material now.
Oh.
That's all he is. Source material.
Yeah, for sure.
Used to be an NFL player. Shame.
You'll live on forever.
Yeah,
Maybe not good, but forever.
that's true. Look at the last one. I don't know who he was or anything
Before
about
that,
it.
no one before that.
Yeah, I think all of her albums are about exes, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what
Probably.
they say. I don't know.
I don't know.
Don't look at
It's
me.
all
I don't
pop fodder. It's all fake.
Yeah,
It's all fake.
that's a good
Joke.
All right, do we get everything?
know. I think so.
I think we did. Yeah, I had fun. There was fun times. I remember recording was a lot of fun. It was exciting, some of the stuff that we were doing with that. I remember you had this like killer drum line that I used to love. You were an insanely good bass player. You were a very good guitar player. Like, I think too is there's maybe even a little bit of like imposter syndrome going on there too, of being
I
like
mentioned this.
feeling like, oh, like I'm having a hard time connecting with the music, and I'm having a hard time saying that I'm a good guitar player. Like I felt that way in All Dinosaurs too, whereas everyone's going to find out that I was a shitty bass player, and like,
Yeah, that's how everybody always feels.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and then 11 years into that band, I was a good performer in All Dinosaurs. I definitely wasn't a very good bass player, but
well, you got to pick one or the other.
yeah, I picked the performance aspect
That's
over
fine.
being like technically
As long as you
very
laid it
good.
down good on the recording, do whatever you want to live.
Yeah, and I did. It was sometimes it would drive them crazy because I would like spend too much time performing and not enough time focusing on playing my parts. But and I was probably I guess that wasn't the heaviest drinking I was doing, but it was close.
You
Being
couldn't
some of
afford
the-
it.
Yeah. I remember we were in Florida, and I had gotten a 16-pack or a 16 thing of Miller Lite and 12-ounce cans and a bigger bottle of Fireball, and we were with another band. And they're like, "Cool, thanks for grabbing beer for us." And I was like, "For us?" What? And
the us?
Yeah, I drank all of that throughout the night. I puked twice, and I was like, I'm just making room for more beer.
Andre the Giant over here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, fucking got hammered. But yeah, Florida, who knew?
The drunkest I've ever been was with Josh Watson. It was Rachel's birthday, and you had to drive home. That's the drunkest I've ever been, and that was barely.
Where was the birthday at?
It was at Benihana.
Oh, sake bombs.
Yep.
Oh, that's
Yep.
sake.
Yeah, don't do that, TAA. He kept going with the bottle.
Get you.
But even then, I didn't even have a hangover the next day or anything like that. Like, that's how lightweight I am. Always have been. But because of my religious upbringing, I didn't have my first drink till I was like 24. And my father-in-law was like, "You're a Christian, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "So you probably don't drink, do you?" I'm like, "No, that's a sin." He's like, "We should talk."
Now, brother, I'm about to blow your
was
mind.
Let me introduce you to Father Guinness.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. No, yeah. I started drinking when I was like 17, something like that, 17 or 18. But yeah, I was definitely in high school when I started drinking. Because a lot of my friends were older at that time because they all went to Tri-C. So the only friends ever.
Remember you ever being like drunk really?
Really?
Like not like it would only be like if we were at like somebody's house. Like you wouldn't get like wasted out at dinner or like at the concerts. It was
Nope.
just like when you were in like a safe little bubble, you were like, okay, I feel comfortable enough to drink here.
Yeah, I guess that does sound right. Yeah, because I do kind of remember like not feeling comfortable like drinking at like Josh's new apartment. I remember you getting that apartment. And that was like one place where I was like, yeah, I can drink here. It's fine.
Crazy part is I'm the regional manager for that apartment complex.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Small world.
Yeah, I sent him a picture a while back. I'm like, bring back memories.
When you sent me that picture, I was in Cleveland.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We were at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame just walking around,
That's funny.
and you sent me that picture, and I was like, I recognized it right away. It just does look a lot nicer now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Big boy money now.
Yeah, making that big boy money. I can't believe I said that. It's so fucking funny.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
Never forget that.
Big
In
boy
that
money.
in that studio, in that little Rock and Roll studios there, in our half a room. Yep.
Yeah, and that never.
Right.
I left that room and never went on to make that big boy money.
There you go. There's your ending right there.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate your guys' honesty. Yeah, I was definitely very immature during that time. I know we all were, but I think like I definitely like. I definitely stepped it up a notch, or like try to set myself apart on the immaturity part. But dude, I really do appreciate you guys doing this. Thank you for letting me into your band. I'm sorry that I ruined it for all of you, and I ruined your lives. And
It got worse after you, actually.
Yeah, I don't think it got better.
cool.
You took all the money. Man. We couldn't make it.
I think that was kind of the peak.
I took the
actually.
big boy money.
Might have
Just
been.
kind of went
No.
downhill after that.
Yeah, I thought maybe I was trying to like speak big boy money into your lives.
My gosh.
Big
comes-
penis money.
Just comes with big penis problems.
I like the. Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. Where can Josh Gerber? Where can they find you on social media? Now that feels
the phone.
hilarious to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find us on Uploads of Fun. We're approaching 11 million followers, Jeremy.
Whoa.
It's never gonna last though.
Yeah, that social media. It's never gonna. It's a fad.
Yeah. What are they doing?
Yeah, it's funny because
Anything Uploads of Fun, you can find us uploadsofun.com.
it's funny because my dad worked my dad works in computers, but when he was going through college, a lot of his teachers were trying to convince him out of like going into computers because they thought it was going to be a fad and it wasn't going to last, so there was going to be a real profession for him. And now I'm the teacher. So, where are you going to find you on social media?
You can find me, my podcast, Your Drive Home dot podcast on Instagram, and we're on anywhere you can find podcasts.
Hell yeah.
Your Drive Home podcast.
Where can they find you on
What about
social
you?
media?
In the streets. I don't know. I have social media, but I'm never on it, so
Yeah, you.
I went the other way.
Yeah.
Josh is actually.
I said to heart for some reason.
I'm a kid behind on Instagram. Like I think that's when I stopped. It's just
He's gonna help me out. He said he's gonna try and help engineer some things on our show. So,
that's
so I'm
awesome.
excited about that. So
Dude, Josh is on there sometimes, like, because I'll see him see one of our stories, and I'm like, I get all giddy. I'm like, oh, Josh saw it. It's pretty cool. Like, I don't do that about anyone else, but I'm like,
oh, that's nice to know.
all right, Josh was on here because it's a rare occurrence.
It really
that he
is.
is on social media. So it's like, oh, this is nice. It's pretty cool.
I'm a boring dad now, so
That's awesome.
I got 3 boys. What do you want?
Yeah, how many kids do you have, Josh?
7.
7?
Yes.
No, I have 2.
In Utah.
Oh, I was like, what the holy hell?
No, we stopped at 2. I can't do anything that's not man-on-man coverage. Like, I don't want to go to zone in our house. I'm good.
Yeah.
And I'm teaching our oldest now to drive.
oh wow,
Wow.
I gotta-
crazy.
yeah, I gotta
Are you
do that,
kidding?
about a year.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And I'm
Crazy.
doing it like my parents. Like, that was probably one of the weirdest things ever in my childhood was them teaching me to drive and then making me wait till I was 18 to get my license.
Yeah, your mom was a nervous driver.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. So I'm doing the complete opposite. Like, when he turned 15, we started to get into a parking lot, and he just learned how to, maneuver the car and stuff in there. 15 and a half, got the permit, and now he's out on the road. And then when he's going to his driving classes in July, and then he'll get his license in September.
Crazy.
So, but he's like, kind of reminds me of you, Jeremy, because he's not that much of a tool. I'm just kidding. But he's got.
Yes.
I'm gonna
But
make
he's
that big
got
boy
a-
money, Dad.
He's got like an old spirit, you know what I mean? Like, he's a little bit more mature, and I think once he gets the basics down, he's going to be a really good driver. Like, if he wasn't, I would be puking my guts out as this is happening, because I'm like just kind of worried about him being out on the road. I mean, you guys think Cleveland drivers are bad? Memphis,
Oh shit.
Yeah,
is.
that's the difference between me and your kid. He's a good driver. I am not a good driver.
So he's got to watch out for you.
Yes, he's gonna have to look out for me. And I just bought a Vespa too, and I
This might be the last podcast.
yeah, this might
is
be the
it.
last podcast. I fell off of it while test driving it. So
Oh Jesus.
And you still bought
I
it?
still bought it.
He had to. He had to at that point. They're like, break it, you buy
Yeah, I
it.
was
Oh my
I'll buy it.
God.
Here's $800 or whatever. Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you guys. I really do appreciate you guys doing this.
For sure.
This was so much fun. You can find me at Jeremy_Demery. Go to secretsocietycomedy.com to figure out where we're going to be at next. And those are all the things I need to promote these days. So that's reassuring. So again, thank you guys so much for being here. Appreciate it. Check out Watching Tomorrow Burn at
MySpace.
MySpace.com.
I think it's on Bandcamp. I'm not kidding. It might be.
maybe on Bandcamp.
What?
'Cause there's a shot in hell. It might be on there. I don't know.
Well, if anybody finds stuff, please let us know where it's at, because none of us know.
So, all right, thank you guys. I really do appreciate you.
Yep.
See ya.